Here it is, my finished notifier that tells me when I have videos transcoding. I've been working on this Larson scanner for a while, and I decided to put it to good use. When I'm using FFmpeg to transcode my over-the-air recordings, it turns on and off automatically. And I'm actually doing this through the parallel port. I looked for a way to do it using a command line argument, but I couldn't find any that did it. But it seems like there is a pretty easy command that turns it off with Python and turns it back on. This uses the PyParallel package, which Ubuntu has in its repositories. The hardware itself is pretty simple. I just have, I don't have a case yet, so I just have a little piece of magazine there. I've got 16 LEDs hooked up right now. I think I might do another 8 eventually. But if you take a look at the hardware here, I've got these two chips right here are 595 shift registers. And originally when I was prototyping this, I was driving those shift registers with the SPI on an AT Mega 168, but that chip is way overkill. So I actually moved down to this Teeny 13 right here, which has just enough space. You know, I basically need 3 pins to drive the shift registers, and then this right here is a NPN transistor. So it's pulling one of these pins down to ground, just like a switch would. I'm using the internal pull-up resistor on the chip, and the base of this is connected through. I got this cord right here going back to my parallel port. I do have like a 1K resistor on there, I believe. It just goes to parallel port pin 1. So when pin 1 goes high, it turns on this transistor, it pulls the pin on the microcontroller to low, and I just use a real quick and easy blocking function. And what it does when it gets that signal, or when it doesn't get that signal, is it just shuts off all of the global interrupts, which are what handles the scanning for the Larson scanner, and then goes into an infinite loop where it checks to see when it gets pulled down to ground again. You know, I'd like to make some kind of case for this, but I don't want to do, you know, all of this point-to-point soldering that would go along with these shift registers. So I think I might turn this into my first like fab house PCB project. I guess we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's it. So jumptuck.com, you can see kind of how I got to this point. I made several posts, and then also, you know, the Python code that I'm using to actually monitor the PID when FFmpeg is running.